Welcome once again to the YouTube channel, Have You Not Read? We are currently in a series of videos entitled, What is Islam? And previously in the first two videos, we looked at the origins and the early history of Islam and Muhammad and the violence that he used to establish Islam in the Arabian world. In the second video after that, we saw a brief overview of the Quran, Islam's holy book, where we saw some of the 100 or so verses in the Quran which call for violence against unbelievers that cannot be denied. Today we're going to begin by looking more deeply into Muslim doctrines, Muslim theology, and we'll begin with what is known as the 5 pillars of Islam. These 5 pillars are absolutely necessary obligations for any Muslim to live a faithful life. And briefly, in order, we'll look a little bit more after, in order, they are this: Shahada or Shahada, I'm hoping I pronounce all these correctly, which literally means profession of faith. And the sincere declaration from a person, they must declare that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet, is his messenger. That is first and foremost. If a person does not profess that there is no God but Allah and Muhammad is his prophet, you cannot be a Muslim. Second is Salah, which means prayer. And they must perform the 5 obligatory ritual prayers every day while facing Mecca. Again, this is an obligation. Third, there is something known as Zakat or Zahat, which means almsgiving. Muslims are to donate a fixed portion of one's accumulated wealth to charity to support the needy within Islam. Fourth is Sawn, which means fasting. And this encompasses abstaining from food, drink, and sex during daylight hours in the holy month of Ramadan. Fifth and final pillar of Islam is the Hajj, which is the pilgrimage. And the pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca is required at least once in the lifetime of those who are physically and financially able as a Muslim. Now, these 5 brief pillars are the core acts of worship and devotion every Muslim strives to uphold. Now, these 5 pillars are crucial because they are the foundation to the Muslim life. These 5 are the framework which they believe is for a fruitful and balanced life. Each pillar is brought forth for the purpose of bringing a Muslim closer to Allah. And it is these 5 pillars that unite Muslims worldwide. The first pillar declares a Muslim's affirmation to Allah as the only God and his or her submission totally to him. The second pillar, which is prayer at 5 times a day throughout each day between dawn and midnight. They are accompanied by ceremonial washings before each time of prayer. The third pillar instructs Muslims to pay a 2.5% share of their held wealth, believing, by the way, that this will purify their wealth. It will help their wealth to grow, and it gives them protection over financial security. Now, the fourth pillar is the discipline or the practice of fasting during the month of Ramadan. In order to teach, it is done this way in order to teach to abstain from temptations, from bad habits, impure thoughts, bad sexual activity. There is a provision for a meal to be eaten before dawn and another one to be eaten after sunset. But throughout the day, they cannot eat. They must fast from all those things: food, drink, sex, and stuff like that. It is the belief that this practice during the month of Ramadan will bring one closer to Allah. The fifth pillar is for a Muslim, if they are physically and financially able, to visit Mecca, the holy city of Mecca, at least once in their lifetime, because they believe this will strengthen their faith and their devotion And you must wear plain white clothing when you walk around the holy site that is in Mecca. Any other type of clothing is not accepted. And it's done that way so that all who are in attendance and walking around the holy site will understand that they are all on equal ground, equal footing. There is no one greater than anyone else, and it is shown because they are wearing white. Now, the spirit and reasoning behind all this is to teach submission, sacrifice, and obedience to Allah. These are not suggestions, by the way, to Muslims. These are required of all who seek to be obedient. In Muslim doctrine, each pillar builds one upon the other, the previous one, in order to create a complete system of worship and obedience. And they must be carefully and faithfully observed in order to strengthen one's relationship to Allah. What I have just shared so far today, these pillars are non-negotiable for anyone who seeks to be a Muslim. Now, like I said at the beginning, this is again a very brief overview of the 5 pillars, but I think that we can see somewhat of what is the founding bedrock of a practicing Muslim in our world today. Now, for those of us who are born-again, Bible-believing Christians, we can see there is a vast difference between Christianity and Islam. And while we can admire and respect their devotion and their obedience to their religion, we still know and understand that since the Bible came first before the book, the Quran, we understand that without Jesus Christ as the Lord of your life, you will never enter the kingdom of God. In John 14:6, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through or by me.